What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, we're talking about everybody's favorite seasoning, salt. There is so much salt around Destiny. Oh, it is hilarious. I mean, you can't write this stuff and you can't make it up. Basically because Destiny was massively hyped, and it made tons of money, and it has millions of players. People are going to hate it. Why? Because people are people, and they love to hate things. They just love to hate things. For instance, what did we hear? We heard, oh man, you're taking away all of our guns in the Taken King, all of my year 1 gear, all my year 1 exotics I worked so hard to get. RNG. I worked so hard to get, they're going away. And then what did Bungie do a few weeks ago? Hey, here's some new year 1 exotics that are coming into year 2. Oh man, all you're doing is re-releasing the same exotics that you had before. Are you kidding me? You can't make this stuff up. It's just too good. And that's what I mean. You can't please everybody. People are just going to hate because for some reason, there are some people out there that love nothing more than to try making other people miserable. That's just how they have their fun. They're called trolls. They're called whatever you want to call them. But they love to make people miserable. Or at least try. But we're not going to fall for that type of stuff. That's just silly. And the only reason this whole topic is coming up is because I happened to go on to Bungie's forum and I was just looking around because yesterday we had the challenge mode release for the King's Fall raid. And yes, it was not challenging. It really was not challenging. And there's a number of things. I actually saw a really great post by Mr. Fruit on one of Goth's videos that really summed that up. And, you know, I don't want to take credit for Mr. Fruit's commentary and thoughts, but I thought he really hit the nail on the head, basically saying that because challenge mode was actually a part of the hard mode, there wasn't a whole lot of changes they could actually do, because what if somebody was doing hard mode and didn't want to do challenge mode? They just wanted to complete hard mode the normal way. And there's really no way to change that unless you made challenge mode something completely separate. But that's a whole nother animal and a whole nother story. But the basic gist was, people were maybe not doing the raid because they were struggling getting gear that was 320. They were getting junky gear that they already had that wasn't helping them to raise their light level whenever they were already over 310 something. So now we get challenge mode, and we get a guaranteed 320 artifact. Now you can officially become a 320 character. You couldn't before. So guaranteed 320 artifact. Guaranteed 320 item that was either special or heavy. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. On 3 characters. That means you could bump up your gear, whether it be a special weapon or a heavy weapon, because you were guaranteed to get 320 drops from doing the challenge mode raid. Plus you were still getting your hard and normal loot. So yeah, all that stuff was great. And what happened? Nothing. People were still complaining. They're still complaining because they're looking to find something else to complain about. The best thing I saw on the forums was a guy writing this long post. He was complaining that he was light level 297, stuck there for 6 weeks at light level 297, saying he was playing upwards of 40 hours a week and he couldn't get past 297 light. He couldn't get past it, and he was complaining about how his time was so valuable and how Destiny was just terrible and you could never progress or do anything like that, and he was stuck at 297. So I just happened to check his character stuff. Never raided, never did Trials of Osiris. His time was so precious, but he literally didn't play the game right. You have 2 avenues up until that last Iron Banner to get some gear that was over 300 light, and that was the raid, and that was the Trials of Osiris. And if you're playing 40 hours a week and you can't find the time to do a raid or a match in Trials of Osiris, then what are you complaining about? Why are you yelling at Bungie? Why is it Bungie's problem that you aren't playing the game right? I have to know that. Why is it Bungie's problem? It can't be. That would be like me going to a vegetarian restaurant and complaining that I can't get a steak. You know, it doesn't make any sense at all. This guy clearly didn't know how to actively and accurately raise his light level, and he's complaining to Bungie about his lack of knowledge. Now, whether or not Bungie should make endgame content up at the raid, you know, needing to do it to get over 300 light, that's a whole different story. And honestly, if you're not going to be doing the endgame content, if you're not going to be doing trials in the raid, why do you need to be over 300 light anyway? It doesn't matter. If you're never going to do the raid, and this guy never is going to do the raid. He's done the raid 6 times ever. in his Destiny profile and 0 Trials of Osiris matches. So he is never going to do the raid, he is never going to do Trials of Osiris, and yet he's on there complaining about how awful Destiny is, how awful the light leveling is, but he is never going to have a need to be that high of light, because he's never doing the content in the game. So please, tell me why you need to be so salty about that. I have to know. And that's the problem. You can't have a logical conversation with someone like that because they don't know. They don't know why they're upset. They're upset for so many reasons. Most of them aren't actually related to Destiny. They might use Destiny as their avenue to express their frustration, but it's not Destiny's problem. It really isn't. Destiny has its flaws, yes, but there's so many good things with it. So many good things with it. For instance, my best buddy, he just started playing Destiny a few weeks ago, and he was late level 240 last weekend because I started taking him through the strikes, and now he's up to 283 I think last night. And what I'm going to get from this is not the story of Destiny. What it's going to be is my experience in taking him through his first heroic strike last night. We were facing the Vex, and it was extremely difficult, and it was tough, and he was dying all over the place. He's got blue weapons and maybe a legendary here and there, and he's got these blue gear, and he's just dying, and it's extremely difficult, and we're just fighting through it, and we're fighting through it, and we finally beat it. And eventually he's going to level up, and he's going to be super powerful, and he's going to be able to look back on that too and be like, oh man, I remember back whenever I was struggling. And that's what Destiny brings to you. It's a constantly evolving feel of a story. It's not a narrative that Bungie wrote, it's what narrative that you bring with your fire teams based on your shared experiences. And that concept right there is really difficult for a lot of people to grasp. And they probably know it somewhere in the back of their head, but they can't quantify it, they can't speak about it, they can't really truly understand it. But it's real. It is real. And I think that's one of the things that keeps bringing people back. The gameplay is tight, but those community relationships, they're good. It's always good to run with a buddy and shoot some aliens in the face with some crazy exotic guns and get some gear in the process. So bring on the salt. Destiny is here. You can hate it, but it's here, and it's going to be around for a while. So bring up your flame shields, Guardians. Anybody in these comments, protect me with your flame shields because they are coming. Like this video if you enjoyed it, smack that subscribe button to join the community, and keep updated on daily Destiny content. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, the salt, and I'll see you around in Destiny. You so salty.